Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Dell's Ducks this week. Matt Panure is away this week after a busy weekend announcing ultimate tournaments. Joined here once again by head coach Bill Zaniboni and Bradley Hefner from Billings, Montana. Welcome back, Bradley.
Hi.
And coach.
How are you?
A weekend off, but a busy weekend all the same. I think this is the first time this season that you practice through a weekend.
Yeah.
And including a late night practice. I believe one of the practices on a Saturday night started at 11:30, so that's a bit of a different sort of atmosphere, and obviously getting pretty serious about the series coming up.
Well, we're just trying to stay on track. I mean, it's not that we don't take anyone differently. We plan the same way, but it just I thought the time off right now would have been a negative thing. We did give the guys Sunday off.
Okay.
We did skate that late Saturday night because of that tournament here. That was the only available ice time we could have.
Okay. Now, Bradley, I know you had the referee stripes on quite a bit this weekend, and then came back to some practices. So, a little bit of a test on your stamina, I suppose.
Yeah, reffing's not too crazy. I mean, the oldest kids I did were Bantams. So,
Okay.
and I mean, when you get to skating that much every day, it's just kind of like a mindset thing. You just got to get yourself into the practice.
What's that like for the guys on the junior team to go, to kind of go back and see the squirts and peewees and bantams playing? That must be kind of neat for you and bring back some memories of when you were younger.
Yeah, it definitely does. It reminds you of, how you did things differently from how those kids do it, or, traveling with your parents every weekend. And it definitely lets you see the game in a different way.
And coach, same for you. Obviously, you remember when you were young playing in tournaments, and your father taking you to the rink and stuff. And pretty soon you'll be doing the same with your own young kids. So it must be kind of neat to see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's anytime there's hockey around. I mean, I try to get to the rink no matter what the age.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, it makes you feel that hopefully those guys are going to grow up to still want to be hockey players and maybe junior players. And yeah, I mean, it's fun just to see the little kids enjoying themselves. There's a lot of emotion. Goalies banging their sticks and players getting upset. But I mean, it's good. It's I'm glad that there's that compete level at the younger ages, and to see them after the game, like they totally forget that they just played a hockey game, and they're having fun and running around. So it's a good atmosphere.
Yeah, it's good to see. So again, that was Ultimate Tournaments last weekend. There will be a small tournament this weekend coming up as well, with some games sandwiched in between the three Dell's Ducks games. The Ducks are back in action this weekend, going over the halfway mark of the season. They'll be playing host to the Forest Lake Lakers for 3 games. Friday night at 7, I believe.
15.
Saturday's game might be a little bit different now. I think
No,
it's
Saturday's the same.
Saturday's 7, and the Sunday game has changed. Then
Yeah.
it's 2:30, I believe, instead
Yep.
of 1 or something like that. So another 3-game series. Against a very tough team. You've had 3 games against the Forest Lake Lakers so far. I believe all 3 of them have been 1-goal games.
Yeah, very good games.
You don't expect these will be any different, I don't think?
I don't know. I expect, like I said, we've seen them 3 times up in their rink, and they're very smart in their systems. I think they're a disciplined, younger team that works hard. They have a goalie that can keep them in any hockey game out there. They've beaten us. They've beaten Rochester. They're a team that doesn't quit, and that's good. I mean, it'll be fun hockey for the weekend, and I'm sure they're excited, and we're excited to get those games.
Excuse me. I think you talked about the goaltending of the Forest Lake Lakers, and it's pretty much carved in stone when you face them. You're going to be facing Matisse Kavlenix.
Yeah.
You have a couple good goaltenders of your own, and I would expect the goaltending is going to be a huge factor this weekend.
Yeah, it should be. From a coach's standpoint or spectator standpoint, it should be fun to watch, and that's what you want. You want to see guys showcase themselves every night, and when there's a guy that faces off against you, it's just as good, and that makes for good hockey. It's exciting, and And truth be told, it's that mistake that's probably going to change the game.
Yeah, that's a tough way to lose and a great way to win, I suppose.
Yep.
Now, obviously, you watch a lot of film preparing for teams. The guy to my left, Bradley Hefner, watches almost as much as you. So this is probably a team that you know very well. The goaltending is the obvious factor. What kind of things go through your head when you're playing a team like Forest Lake?
Just for me, being a defenseman, gap control, just moving the puck quick off my stick up to the forwards, trying to get them caught in transition.
Okay. And, obviously you don't want to give anything away, but I'm sure that you're aware of more people than just Kovlenix on that team. You know who you're going to watch, and there's a lot of talk before the game about.
They're definitely key players on their team.
Right.
You have to watch for.
Yeah. So what about the pace of the game, Coach? Were all three games pretty much back and forth, hard-hitting games?
I don't know about hard hitting. I think they were definitely back and forth.
More wide open?
I thought, yeah. I mean, that's the way I felt. I thought it was wide open. I thought guys, they're a very fast team. They use their speed really well. I think they create a lot of offense from their points, getting pucks to the net. They do a good job of doing that. So, there's some key points that we have to identify as our hockey club. But yeah, I think that, all three games have been really back and forth. They've been tight. There haven't been a ton of clean goals to beat either goalies, and it's been fun. It's been a really good matchup so far this year, and I would expect the same.
We talked a lot in the previous weekends about this long road trip or road set, I guess that you want to call it. It wasn't like one trip, but 17 straight games on the road is a bit of an endurance contest, I suppose, in terms of going on the bus every weekend and stuff like that. Now, you had that exhibition series a couple weeks ago, and I talked to Matt Panure about it. He's obviously a stats fanatic. And I said, when was the last time the Ducks lost on home ice in a season game? And he said it was Halloween a year ago. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty nice record that the team has put together. They enjoy playing in front of the friendly fans at home. And obviously that's something that the team is very proud of. Is that something that you put a lot of weight in, or you just go one game at a time even when you're on home ice?
Well, I think you always go one game at a time. But when you're coming home, and it's something that you want to have a standard of play at home. You want to have an identity and make it tough to play in. Kind of create your own atmosphere as a group, and I've been really fortunate enough since I've been a coach to have groups that can do that on their own. And with the leadership that we have, I would imagine that it should carry over to this year. So, we only played 3 league games here so far, and they're all 3 opening weekend for us against Minnesota Owls.
Yep.
So I think our guys are itching to get back on home ice and to get into a routine and find out what they need to do before games and how long it's going to take them to the rink and just little stuff like that. I think that's important for guys to figure out.
Right. Bradley, when you're playing on home ice, you have a relatively small but vocal home crowd. You got your own stall, your own rink. It's just a little bit more comfortable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You know exactly what happens before the game. If you can get on the ice, or to stick handle, or where you go to stretch, or and specific guys have their rituals and stuff like that, and it's just easier to go through all of that when you're at home.
Okay. Is there any kind of I think when you're on the road, your routine starts literally from the moment you wake up in the hotel. Where at home, maybe you're a little bit more away from the rink, with family, friends, or billet family. Is there any kind of distractions that you have to worry about at all when you're on home ice?
For the most part, no. At least for me. I mean, I try to make it as similar as possible as past games.
Okay.
When you're at home.
And you do set up game day routines and everything, Coach, just like you would if you were on the road, I would assume.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we come in and do video. We get up in the morning, we go for a run, and we're just, for one, we try to prepare the guys to be athletes after junior hockey, right? So we gotta do our best to keep them focused and on task, and I guess trying to pull the rope in the same direction.
Okay. I think for the most part, the way this league is shaping up this year, I would think, and I'm going to include Rochester in this too, there's a group of teams that are very, very closely matched, a bigger group than we're maybe used to. A handful of teams, like I'm going to include Steele County and Air Hudson,
Oh, yeah.
Forest Lake, Rochester, the Dells Ducks. There's always surprises every weekend, it seems, when you look at the scores, and that makes it more fun, doesn't it?
Oh, I think so. I think, hopefully it shows the guys that they got to be ready no matter who they're playing.
Right.
I think that's the important thing. And to be honest, it's going to make every player in this league better if they think that way, because it makes them more consistent and more valuable to the next level of hockey, whatever that may be for them.
And the challenges have been pretty intense, game in and game out. Bradley, is that something that you like? Does it make it easy to prepare?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to prepare knowing that you're going to have a challenge than coming in and knowing, that it's going to be easy.
Okay. Some possible good news. We may have Lucas Smith back in the lineup. I know we
Yeah.
got the cast off. Chance he may be playing this weekend, you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I would say it's questionable right now, but we'll take it as the week goes on.
And that's something that is something you've been looking for all season. You've been, you've been playing with a small core of defense. They've been logging a lot of minutes and doing a good job.
Yeah, doing a very
But I
good.
think that it's something that you've been looking forward to all season, to get that defense core built up a bit.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it's definitely been a point of interest of all year to try to grow stronger, and bringing Lucas back after the injury and stuff like that, I think makes us better, and that's the main point. So, he's going to push guys. He's a younger guy himself, but a very good hockey player.
And you're at the point of the season now, I think, when you get into that Thanksgiving to Christmas area, nothing's new anymore. There's even I would think the first year players are kind of getting comfortable and more into the routine and everything. And I think just this is a real sort of tough part of the season, I guess, just to kind of make sure you keep that same focus game in and game out.
Absolutely, this is now it starts becoming a mental battle. And I think it more so for the first year guys and the guys that have been through it, obviously. And this is, the year where I personally have to sit down with more kids than ever, especially, the high school guys that have played 20 games in a season. And they just, they're confused on what's going on or the ups and downs of junior hockey. And it's an education, and that's why you don't see a ton of first year junior hockey players that are just incredible in the points direction or their game's so well rounded right now. There's a ton of growing that has to do mentally along with physically on the ice that goes hand in hand, and one might be better than the other at some point. And when every guy that leaves a Minnesota Hockey League or junior hockey league program, as a staff, you want them no matter what to walk away as a better, well-rounded individual. I think that's the biggest challenge that you see in junior hockey, is trying to get these guys on the same page and understand that the downs are also going to come with ups, and you just got to keep them focused and looking at the sky and trying to get there.
Well said. And Bradley, it is I think we had the same kind of thing last year where, you start the season, you have a lot of games, and the routine is pretty much set where you play 4 practices, you get on a bus, you go away, or you have 3 games at home, and now you've had a week off, still practicing, still staying intense, but then you have a set of games, and I believe you might have another week off after that. Is it hard to stay focused when you don't sort of have that regular series of games in front of you?
Not necessarily hard to stay focused, but we don't want to look too far forward into things. We want to stay within, worry about this team right now, worry about ourselves, and then when those games come, within however long they are, we'll worry about each game at a time when we get there.
Excuse me. And I think the thing this year too, Bradley, is the games literally seem more important because there's very little separation between the teams at this point. I think maybe by this time last year, you might have had a bit of a gap on some of the middle sort of tier teams, where this year, you have 5 teams, and if you have a bad weekend, all of a sudden you're going to have a team maybe pass you or right on your neck. That puts even more importance on the games, I would
Yeah,
think.
every single game from now on is very, very important
Yeah.
because any of those teams you named could beat anybody.
Yeah, a lot of teams with single-digit losses, 3, 4, 5 losses. These are huge games.
Yeah, I mean, that's exciting. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what guys want. Like, if you go to a junior hockey team, I mean, you're not going to a team where you can coast through and get by.
Yeah.
I mean, you want the
Good point.
battles. You want to get better, and you know what? Like, when you lose, you lose, and you learn from it, and you move forward. And I'm not saying that we're comfortable with where we are in the standings, but it's who we are right now. So we got to learn from that and get better, and hopefully just get better as individuals and as a team, and we'll be fine.
Okay. So again, this weekend, Friday and Saturday at 7 o'clock, Sunday at 2:30, come to the Poppy Waterman, see some good hockey. Coach Bradley, thank you very much for tonight. We'll see you again on the weekend, and playing for 6 huge points, so let's hope that things go our way.
Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. It should be
Thanks,
fun.
Jim.
Thank you.